Good morning. I just pulled up to the gym, about to do legs and abs, and then go to the grocery store and then meal prep. So I'm gonna take you guys along with me, and yeah, back to the YouTube as normal. You know what I mean? So I just finished legs and abs. So now it's time to go to the grocery store. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and have my post-workout meal and meal prep, and then do some GitHub stuff, I guess. So this is everything I picked up at the grocery store today. So I got this beef bone broth and then chicken. So this one is chicken, beef, and turkey, and then this one is just chicken. And then this is really good just to like sip on, get some extra protein in without taking protein powder. I already had sweet potatoes, so I didn't need to get sweet potatoes, but I have them in the pantry. I just restocked on some olive oil spray. Very good for, you know, not sticking your pan if you didn't want to use butter. I got another bunch of bananas because I was going to make banana bread later. So this is just to restock up on my bananas. These are really good for carbs, natural carbs. Next, I got this tub of Greek yogurt, and I'm going to be making my bread from scratch, and I'm also going to be marinating my chicken. So I have one in the fridge right now, so I'm going to use what's ever left of that, but I got this just in case I ran out. I have more. And I got these little avocado guac things. These are really good because like they're just better than having regular avocados. I'm sorry, I don't know why avocados are just not hitting right. I don't know. So the next best thing, I restocked up on my instant coffee. I am an instant coffee girly. You can see the Keurig in the bag. She's only for hot water. I'm sorry, we don't do that little K-cup thing no more. This is what we do. We do instant coffee. Next, I did get some pizza sauce. So I am going to attempt to make my pizza crust from scratch. Yes, I could make the sauce from scratch. This is just really good, and it has clean ingredients, of course. So just, you know, read your labels or whatever. But yeah, this one is really good. So I just re-upped on it. But I also use this when I make little zucchini bowls with like meat and stuff. So I'm gonna use this obviously with some ground beef. I'm gonna make meatballs. 2 pounds of ground beef. Lastly, I do have this skirt steak. 10 out of 10. Just serve it with these fries right here. And let me tell you, seed oil free fries. I'm sorry, they're just so good. You don't need the seed oils. You don't. Next, I did re-up on my little yogurt drinks. These are really good. If you don't have time to just heat up the little bone broth, you could always just tomatoes, a red onion, some lime, and some cucumbers, and lemon. So this is all the stuff I'm going to be using for dinner tonight, excluding the zucchini. The zucchini is going to be for my lunch. But yep, that's all the stuff. I'm going to turn it into a cucumber, tomato, onion salad to pair with the wraps. And I will be recording all of that so you can see it. Everything's really good, very healthy, very minimal ingredient, all from scratch. We have 3 eggs, 9 little breakfast bites, and a banana with honey and cinnamon. I'm trying to just upload all the projects I've done in like the past like 6 months or so, put it on there, and you know, see what it can do for me. So that's what it's looking like. But that's like an actual sleigh, like I'm not gonna lie. So now that I have my GitHub to like kind of where I want it to be, like I made like a profile picture, uploaded some projects. It's looking a little bit professional. There's readmes on there, like there's actual code up on there that I've done. So a win is a win. A sleigh is a sleigh. Now it is time to meal prep. So I got my 4 pounds of chicken in the bowl, and now I'm gonna show you guys how to marinate the chicken. Start off by getting your Greek yogurt. Please don't ask me for measurements. I'm assuming it's about like a cup of Greek yogurt is what I'm gonna use. I assume. The reason is that it's just gonna be like a cup of Greek yogurt. I'm really just using like whatever's left in this container. Alright, so now we're going in with olive oil. This is the olive oil that I'm using. And that's literally just what I do, okay? Quick and simple. Yogurt and your olive oil should be in there. Now we're just gonna go in with all of the seasonings. So I'm gonna start off with salt. Then I'm gonna go in with pepper. Then I'm gonna go in with garlic powder. Go heavy on the garlic powder and the onion powder. That's obviously where the seasoning is gonna be. And again, I am doing 4 pounds of chicken. So I know it looks like a lot of seasoning. Parsley. Italian seasoning. Lemon. And I know, yes, I could squeeze it by hand, but you know, we live in a modern age. Look at this, look at this. Beautiful. So you just do it again. So now your bowl should be looking like this, your chicken, your seasonings, and all of that. What I'm going to do is probably about, I would say this much is fine for like the little sauce. We're gonna go ahead in with olive oil, and that should be about enough. And then we're going to do some oregano. A red crushed pepper. Some pepper. Some salt. Some onion powder. Preheat your oven to 400, and then you just hit start. I had to put the chicken into the oven. That's just gonna bake for 1 hour. A pretty simple salad situation we got going on here. So pretty much what you're gonna do, just cut it up and to squares. And then, you know, just like put it into the bowl. Now, maybe people were wondering where I've been at, maybe not. But for the ones wondering, where have you been for like 8 months? Let me tell you. So, I have finished my degree, yay. But what ended up happening is while I was doing that, I literally was rushing to finish school. So I ended up obviously like not having any time to do YouTube, but I was still like, you know, maintaining eating healthy, right? So you would have seen some of the postings I would have done, such as like the little small recipes here and there. But obviously I had absolutely no time to edit. So that was kind of the problem, is like there was no time to edit. So if I wanted to record, which I mean I could have, but obviously I had zero time to record. So that's kind of what ended up happening there. And you can see that my content fell to the floor. There was literally zero content. Even on Instagram, I wasn't even posting that much. But now here we are, what, 6, 7, 8 months later? But it is not Halloween. I can promise you that, okay? Trust me, it is not Halloween. So it is August, obviously, and you know, I am ready for new beginnings and new chapters, you know, ready to end some chapters, ready to begin some new chapters, and you know, never be scared of change, you know, change is inevitable, and you just have to, you know, embrace it, you know what I mean? So yeah, I know you cannot see my face, but I'm obviously still talking. But yeah, as I continue to cut up these vegetables, or fruits. I guess they're fruits. They're not really vegetables. But yeah, could I have placed the camera in a better place and you could have seen me talking? Yes. But why would I do that? I'm literally just an amateur. And you know, that's okay. That's fine. I'm not the best. But you know what? I am trying. And now I'm so excited to finally be back posting and actually making content. Like, I actually get to enjoy making content, which I actually do, believe it or not. I actually do like making content. Like, girl, where has your podcast been? Trust me, I don't know. I have no time. But now I do have time, because what do I do now that I don't have school? I have no kind of like desire to continue doing what I do. And, you know, I could say like, you know, was it bound to happen? Obviously, with time. But, you know, many people think that, you know, you're meant to continue doing the same thing for the rest of your life, which I do not agree. And that's why I ended up, you know, changing my opinions and values on things, and actually decided to get up, make a difference for myself. And, you know, I completed that degree, and that degree now is something I could say, like, I took the time to do, and I did it, and here I am. I don't know if this makes it better or worse, but yeah, so I chose the wrong knife. I don't know why I got the tiniest knife, but I did. That's just like what's going on here. It's like I'm just putting it in here. Very not aesthetic at all, because I don't really care to chop them very small. I have like huge chunks, small chunks. I don't really care. It's just all going in here anyways. What difference does it make? So I do have lime here that's gonna go in here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in there too. And this will just sit out while the chicken bakes. Boom, salt, and a lot of it. Cucumbers, onions, tomatoes, salt, and lime juice. So now I'm gonna go ahead and make a bread. So I'm using this flour, and I'm going to use 1 cup. And then I'm going to do this Greek yogurt, 1 cup. And then about like 2 tablespoons of baking powder. And we're gonna mix it up, and then we're gonna knead it, and then make the bread. So if you're using a scale, this is about 120 grams of flour. Also, if you are using a scale for this is about 220 grams of yogurt. So now your bowl should look like this, and you're just gonna mix it all up and then knead it. A board that I like to knead with, and I got on my apron. And so now we're just gonna go ahead and dust the work surface with some flour. And just, I don't know, put it like that, I guess. We're just gonna take the mixture that we just made. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna need to relieve a lot of stress. Like, this is so fun. It's like Play-Doh for adults. I don't understand, but it's so fun. But like, you see how like Greek yogurt and flour just turns into bread? This is crazy. Like, it's so cool. Now it's kneaded, and it looks like a dough ball, which it does. It's cute, right? We're gonna go ahead and divide it into 4 pieces. We're gonna divide this into 4 pieces, and they're not perfect, okay, because, you know, I am literally just who I am. Nothing perfect, nothing fancy, but 4 pieces now. And I'm just gonna go ahead and continue to make these into like a little circle. I do not have a rolling pin. This is something I probably should get into if I want to continue to make these little flatbread things, because they're so good. And I was thinking, like, you could use this as like a base crust for like pizza or something. Like, you just make it into like a long one. And that was kind of like my goal when I was like thinking of making homemade pizza, was actually turning this into like an actual pizza crust. Roll it out. And you may need more flour, which is okay. If you need more flour, put more flour. If you don't, then you don't. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make this very long. And the goal is to hopefully have it where it's long enough to where it makes a good enough piece of bread. But if not, it'll just be side bread again. So this is what it should be looking like. I know it's not perfect, but I don't have a rolling pin, so this is what I got. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna put your bread onto the pan, and then it'll start to bubble up. And once it starts to bubble up, that's how you know your bread is done. Once it's done on the pan, just go ahead and add some butter and some parsley, and it should look like this. This is what your bread should look like when it is done.